I am David Reddish with Queerty.
Hi, David.
Hello, Holland. Thank you so much for giving me a few minutes today. This is so
My
exciting. I've
pleasure.
admired you for so long.
Oh, thank you.
And
Thank you.
congratulations on the show because I thought it was absolutely terrific. I just
I
devoured
did
it and
too.
was completely
I
engaged
did
the whole way.
too. It really sweeps you along, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It's perfect for when you're stuck in the house, which I happen to be
Yes.
right now, along with everybody else.
Yes. Yes. Along with everyone.
But I want to ask you about your character, Ellen. She's a casting director, a woman that's committed her life to show business, which I think is something you can probably identify with.
I
At
can.
last
It's
count,
all
you had
very meta. Being
very
in this
much
show is a very meta
someone,
experience.
someone with 120 screen credits, according to the IMDb or something like that.
Oh, well, a lot. I've worked a lot. Horse shit at the rodeo, I sometimes say.
It's a good thing to be. So my question
Yeah.
is, what is it you most identified with in Ellen? What attracted you to the role?
Well, first of all, when Ryan offered me this role, I was tremendously flattered. And his word for her was that she had moxie. And it's a very old-fashioned word and from an old-fashioned time. But the thing that I liked about her, she was actually sort of more than a casting director. She was an executive in the early days of Hollywood, where she would have run the Starlet School. She also was the right-hand person to the guy who was actually the nuts and bolts runner of the studio, the guy who had the actual practical authority of making pictures and governing how they are done. And she had, it was a real equal to him in the sense that they were friends, and her opinion was something he valued. And so she would say, we got to use this guy. This guy has it. And he says, I don't see it. She said, well, trust me, he does. And he would trust her. So it was wonderful to play a trusted authority in an industry town. But she also has a bit of the Hollywood glamour herself. She's an attractive woman who has a tremendous charm, and and in that charm, I feel a kind of a goodwill that was very much had the feel of the 40s, sort of a Ross Russell kind of, or even like an Eve Arden kind of wiseacre girl who's not afraid to. It doesn't even occur to her to be afraid to offer her opinion. Of course, everybody wants to hear her opinion. Would be her feeling. So
Of
there's a
course.
kind of congenial quality that is very 40s for me. And I can any number of actors who fit that bill. And it was really fun to play it and very much a meta experience.
That's fantastic. And I'm glad you mentioned Ryan there because, very honestly, while I was watching the show, thinking about characters like Ellen or like Avis, Patti LuPone's character,
Yeah,
like
how about
Vic, Joe
that?
Mantello's character,
Yeah.
it's very hard for me to look at the show and not think about someone like Ryan, someone who has used his privilege to help other people who are normally left
Yes.
outside the
Yes.
Hollywood gate.
Yes. Yeah.
Was this something you thought about when you were constructing your character? Was it something you discussed with Ryan when you were preparing?
What aspect particularly that
Well,
what
just
he
that
does?
he wants to elevate in the same way Ryan likes to elevate women. He likes to elevate people of color, other queer people. Obviously, people like Avis and Ellen do the same thing. They like to elevate women. They elevate people of color. They elevate
Yes.
queer people.
Yes. Well, it's a real essential aspect of Ryan's character. I don't know him that well personally. I know him somewhat. I've spent a little bit of time with him, but I've seen it on foot. I was with him when he ran into Joan Collins at an event, and he immediately wanted to put her to work. He has this, she said something about, oh, it's been 2 years since I've done that. And he said, I'll put you in something tomorrow. I mean, he has an enormous sense of agency. He can do anything. He can make anything happen. And as a result, his own natural impulses of interest. He has a lot of interest in certain different kinds of people, and he wants to include them and tell their stories and have them be part of it. It's a wonderful quality that he has personally, and he's just puts his money where his mouth is.
What is it about being an actor that makes it so seductive working for him? He loves actors. He gets the
Yeah, he
best
does.
talent in everything he does.
Well, partly because he sees things that you might not. I mean, he said, "This is a perfect part for you." I'm thinking, really? Well, yeah. He said, this is, you were born to play this. And he just says these tremendously assertive things like that. He said, "Oh, you could play this," without even thinking about it. He really instills a lot of confidence, and his enthusiasm is fabulous. And like, there's certain, I won't mention it because of the plot change, but there are certain twists and turns that my character takes that were a surprise, because I didn't know it up front. And I'd say, "Oh, Ryan, really? Really?" And he'd say, "Absolutely." And he is an absolutely kind of guy.
That's wonderful.
Full steam ahead. Don't spare the horses.
I love it. Holland, you've been wonderful. Thank you so much for giving me a few minutes. And congratulations on the show.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful to be in. I loved it.